Okay, everybody, this week we're going to be talking about proportions of the head and assorted features of the face. Okay, so what we have here is a head and profile. All right, now notice these measurements here. Okay, halfway down, the top of the head to the chin, halfway down is where the eyes are. Okay, then. Okay. A little above that, where the brow is, okay? Excuse me, where the brow is to where the chin is. Halfway down from that is the bottom of the nose, okay? And let's see, another third down from that is where the mouth is. Okay, so keep these sort of measurements in mind. As a matter of fact, in your small sketchbook, what I want you to do, um, what I'm pretty much going to require you to do, is draw out a square like this and put in a line going through halfway down, one a little above that. Basically, the lines that coordinate with these lines here. This is a lot like what we did last week when we drew those lines, those 1 inch apart lines, and then drew the figure on top of that to keep the figure in proportion. And the same kind of thing here, only with this, we've got this square. All right, so let's start drawing this guy. Now, again, what I'm using here is I'm using Photoshop, but what you will be using is your small sketchbook, and any kind of drawing pencil will do. All right, so when I'm drawing a head, even if I'm doing like a full-blown portrait, I usually start off with a circle. And it doesn't have to be a perfectly round circle or anything like that. It's just the basic sort of shape. Something like that. And notice it's not going to fill up the entire thing. Okay, it's like a fill up about, what, 3/4 of it. All right, and then I'll put in a shape kind of like that. Okay, that is how I usually start. Doesn't matter if I'm doing uh, a portrait or a comic book illustration or a straight illustration. I usually start off with very simple sort of structural stick figure kind of stuff. Start with something like that, okay? And that lets me know where to start putting things, okay? Now, I'm gonna draw a little bit on top of that. Okay, let's just make a little adjustment here. All right, once you have that kind of sketched in, you can start drawing in earnest, I would say. So, all right. So I usually start somewhere with around the eyes and the nose, looking at the contours of the brow, now the nose. The bottom of the nose is at this line here. So sketch out that shape, the nostrils slightly above that. Actually, let's get rid of that a little bit there. And then there's the lip right about on here, fairly full lips. Notice that the mouth isn't a straight line. A little kind of a bow shape right there. Bottom lip right there. There's that little underside below the lip where the skin attaches to the chin. Chin's right about there. Okay. Now we have this sort of rough shape right here of the jaw. We can make it a little more accurate. Something like that. All right. Now the ear. Again, the ear lines up with the eye. Okay, so sketch that in. You're right about in here somewhere. Somewhere like that. Now, notice too, if we start putting in the eye, how far the eye is, how far it is back this way from the rest of the brow. Okay, so, and the shape of the eye, sort of triangular. And then let's go ahead and put in shape of the brow, like so. Another brow right there. Now remember, these are just sketches, so you can keep stuff fairly rough if you want. You're not trying to do a portrait. You're just trying to keep the head in the correct proportions. Okay? Now you can use the different parts of the face to kind of space out and to space out the proportions here. That's what I do. I find it pretty pretty easy to do that. So if you got like the a sideburn right here, you got a space, then the eye right about here. You can use the different parts of the face, the different facial features to figure out the placement and make a more accurate drawing. Okay, now let's define shape of the head a little bit more. It's got that slightly curly hair thing going on. It's a little too much right there. I think brow goes more like that. Again, if you want to just draw over top stuff, you don't have to erase unless you find it distracting like I do sometimes. And you have to follow the exact line of the hair and stuff like that. That's not that important. Again, just keep what we're mainly looking for are the correct proportions of the head. Probably help to draw in the shoulders and the back of the neck and all that stuff too. Fix that slightly. And then put in the contours of the inner part of the ear. Now, one of the things you'll be drawing this week is a close-up of an ear. So you can really see how the structure of an ear is set up. Okay, so there we go. Something like that. Okay. I'm going to correct the line of that nose just a little bit. Again, don't worry about it being an exact likeness. If you can just define various parts of the face, keep them in proportion, keep them accurate, you should be okay. All right. Now, you don't have to color in the hair or anything like that. If you want to put in a little bit of a little bit of contour lines and things like that. When you're drawing in hair, okay, you always want to have your strokes go in the same direction that the hair is going. So in this case, he doesn't really have a part. It's just combed forward from the back, sort of I don't know, Roman style, you know, that you see. Not as much these days. But if you want to just kind of sketch in some rough lines that, to suggest that, that's fine. Might help you, actually putting in areas of light and dark might help you define the the face a little bit more, make it seem a little more like it. Sometimes I'll have people come up to me and in class, if they're working on a portrait, they're like, "Oh, you know, why doesn't this person I'm trying to draw look like the person I'm trying to?" And a lot of times it's just a matter of something like not filling in the eye or something along those lines. Okay, and it just makes the makes the person look not like what the source picture is. So I'm going to darken that up a little bit. Kind of hooded eyes a little bit. Put on a little bit of, let's put on a few hatch lines here and there to kind of make it look just a touch darker. Something like that. Again, you don't have to, it's just a sketch. The level of completion is up to you. The main thing is to keep it proportionate. All right. So I'll correct that there. A few cleanup lines along here. And the shape of the ear is just a little bit off, so let's correct that. All right, let's put on a little darker through here. You can also, if you're filling in hair, you can leave areas that are slightly lighter to kind of suggest a little bit of a shine in the hair. So like along here, yeah, something like that. All right, and that's probably good enough. Okay, the proportions are all there, most of the features are all there. It's not an exact likeness, but you get the idea, and we'll call it good there. All right. So in your small sketchbook, yes, draw this guy. And like I said, make sure you have the your lines drawn out. Okay, you can take away the lines and look something like that. All right, rid of that. Okay, so a little more there, a little more here, and we're done. Okay, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.